We're going to tie a sparrow, and it's all tied with 3 different feathers from a ringneck pheasant. These are beautiful birds, pretty reasonably priced. Be worth you picking up one. I'm going to attach my thread back from the eye of the hook. I'm going to select 2 of these marabou feathers on the underside, on the tail of, underneath the tail of the ringneck pheasant. Now I'm going to take these feathers, put them together so the tips match. I want my tail to be gap length past the bend of the hook. I'm going to hold these up here and get them the gap length that I want. I can see where my thread is going to be attached. Now I'm going to switch hands. I'm going to cut this material, leaving just enough to tie on. Bring it right up to the hook where my thread is. I'm going to take one loose wrap over the top and pull towards me. And I'm going to take 4 or 5 tight wraps to attach it. I'm going to slide my feathers back, keeping this material all bunched together. And I'm going to wrap over it all the way to the bend of the hook. Back at the bend, I'm going to take 4 or 5 wraps to attach it in good shape there. I have the tail of my fly attached. Now I'm going to bring my thread back up to where we started. For the body on this fly, we're going to use a synthetic dubbing, and I've chosen olive. I'm going to wet my finger just a little bit, take a few fibers. I'm going to take my thread, the fibers, put them on the thread, and twist them in one direction only. Take a few more. If you're having trouble putting dubbing on, you're probably trying to put it on too heavy. I'm going to continue until I have about 3 inches of dubbing attached to my thread, and then start wrapping. I'll wrap towards the back. Now obviously I'm going to need some more. I want to double wrap this all the way down and all the way back. Attach just a little bit more. Now for a hackle feather. I'm going to take a church window feather. It's located in the middle of the bird. When pulling that feather off, what we're going to find is another feather attached to the underside. This is called an aftershaft feather. And I'm going to pull that off and save it. That's going to be the head of our fly. I'm going to take that church window feather now and prepare it for a soft hackle style. I'm going to pull all the fluff off of it. So the feather looks like that. I'll hold the very tip of the feather and pull all those fibers back. So now I have a feather that looks like this. I'm going to pull those fibers back one more time and hold them. And I'm going to cut, leaving just enough to tie on. I'm going to take that little stem and lay it on the shank of the hook, right beside my thread, and take one loose wrap over the top. Then I'll take 4 or 5 tight wraps to attach it in good shape. Now I'm going to take that feather and wrap it. I don't really care what this looks like at this point. After I get it all wrapped, I'm going to hold the stem in my right hand, drop my bobbin over the back with my left, and now switch hands. Keeping tension on my thread, I'm going to pull my bobbin towards me. With tension on my thread, I can let go of that stem and it's not going to go anyplace. Now I'll take 5 turns over the top of that to anchor it in good shape. Now we can cut our stem out of there. I'm going to take all those fibers now and pull those towards the back. And wrap over them with my thread. That's going to hold them back for me. Now that after shaft feather that we saved before, I'm going to attach that right where our thread is now. And very gently, I'm going to wrap this after shaft feather. This is one of the most brittle, I think, of all the feathers that we use in fly tying. Every turn I take, I'm going to pull those fibers back. Take another turn. Pull those fibers back. And if I can get 3 turns on this, I'm going to consider myself lucky. This feather is so brittle. You can see how brittle it is. It just falls apart. But it also just breathes in the water, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a head on this fly that will just breathe in the water. I'm going to pull all those back for the last time. We've got a few little fibers in there. I'll show you how to get those out after the fly is finished. I'm going to finish off our head. I'm going to take my half-hitch tool, lay it on my thread, take 1 turn around the end of the tool with my bobbin, and gently slide my thread off. And I'm going to take 2 turns around the tool and gently slide my thread off. Now to remove all those fibers that I have hanging out of my head, I'm going to take my fingers and just pull everything back. With a cigarette lighter, I'm just going to lightly touch the front of that. I'll burn all those fibers out of there. Now we're going to apply a little head cement. And we have our finished sparrow.